The crypto ecosystem has dramatically plummeted, and now everyone is asking whether this abrupt drop will continue or if it's the perfect pullback to start looking for buying opportunities. Well, in this video, we'll clear up those doubts. Take a look at the Ethereum chart and see how the entire crypto ecosystem has truly suffered from significant depreciation. We're seeing the same thing in Cardano, Polkadot, and also in Solana. This dramatic event has been triggered by a very specific occurrence. You might recall that we were studying some hidden buys in this wick on the Bitcoin chart. And in this order flow chart, just to refresh your memory, we had already been warning about the importance of seeing these compulsive buys. Remember, we were talking about a doji, a candle with a very small body and a large wick, which was likely to lead the average retail investor to believe the price would fall. That's why at Crypto Insight, we said that from this point, one had to be immediately positive, which as you know, did happen. For the same reason, in the live sessions we do with Crypto Insight Premium members, we had already warned them that these purchases by large institutions were going to provide vital information. So, if we move to the right and pay close attention to that cluster, or rather, those clusters of buying, notice how it was crucial to keep track of what the price does when it is under attack. Now you're going to hear from my colleague Yuji, who warned the Crypto Insight community about how dangerous it would be if Bitcoin decisively broke through that structure, and you only need to look at the breakout to see what it caused.
Now, if the price does what it wants and breaks through it and does so with force, breaking through strongly, then we wouldn't be looking for buying zones, but rather we might start looking for selling opportunities because we all know the consequences of losing a defense zone.
Honestly, we're facing an event, as they say. Unexpected, since the most plausible scenario was to expect a continuation to the upside, which ultimately didn't happen. However, if we are aware of what we're looking for and what we label as an unexpected event, and if we can interpret the implications of smart money no longer protecting its objective buy, then we can also understand what might happen if this area here is lost. And here it is, of course, the result. Now, we're going to explain the importance of this trend line for Bitcoin's price at the moment, as well as the importance of this defense zone for Bitcoin. But before that, welcome to Crypto Insight, your ethical and moral channel for cryptocurrency technical analysis. Here, we really know what we're talking about. We conduct advanced technical analysis that has been developed for over 12 years. We upload videos several times a week. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, let me know and leave a comment with your opinion. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so you don't miss the next opportunity. Before we dive into Bitcoin, let's talk about Ethereum. Look, we've set up a clear defense zone around the price levels of 25.51 and 25.14. What we're evaluating now is whether the price is setting up a trap, because obviously it would be very positive for the crypto ecosystem if Ethereum either immediately comes back and tests this level, or if it spends some time, creates a trap, then recovers and tests the level. Either of these two scenarios would be highly positive for the entire ecosystem. Following these events, we would likely see a prolonged bullish period. And if you're wondering why we think this, let's look back at Bitcoin. Notice this strong downward impulse and how its correction offers us a W pattern. Here we have a Y. And right now, Bitcoin is hitting the corrective trend line. This is the moment when it will be decided whether the price will attempt a hypothetical Z. Is this guaranteed? Of course not, but it makes sense. To confirm this hypothesis, since we're not magicians and don't try to predict the future, we'll keep an eye on Ethereum to see if its defense zone is ultimately recovered or not. Something very similar is shown in the Cardano chart. If you look, we've just hit a key structure where accumulation happened. The structure broke, reached the target, and now we're back at the origin of the breakout, performing a test. Notice how Bitcoin is in a defense zone and on a trend line, just like Ethereum, which is in a potential trap within a defense zone. Cardano, on the other hand, is in a key structure, which is the origin of the breakout. In this accumulation phase, smart money positioned at the creek, and the breakout originated at this point. That's why we refer to this zone or event as the return to the origin of the breakout. I don't know if you're noticing, but all assets, and I'll show you Polkadot next, are at key structural levels. Each one is unique, but ultimately, in essence, they are all at crucial points. In fact, Polkadot can afford to set up structural traps without it being the end of the world. It's something very plausible, just like Ethereum, which could work through an accumulation process with a trap and then recover. Now, imagine Bitcoin setting up a trap, seeming like it's heading for disaster, but then it recovers and bounces back. This is something extremely plausible. Now, let me show you Solana. Like the other assets, Solana is also revisiting the origin of a breakout from an advanced trend line, from an accumulation process, as you can see here, which is a key structural level. And Solana is the asset that allows us to outline what could potentially become a creek. In other words, we might see some time consumption with a trap here before perhaps moving upwards. So, what's the clear message? Let's try to simplify all this advanced and complex technical analysis that I'm showing you and bring it down to earth. Given that we're facing a scenario where all cryptocurrencies are at key structural levels, potentially looking for a Z-wave, based on corrective wave theory, we can say that windows for long opportunities are opening up. Remember, at Crypto Insight, we don't claim that it's possible to predict the future, because unfortunately, magic doesn't exist and no one can know what will happen with a price. What we can do, however, is critically, and based on a lot of experience, look for operational zones where the risk is limited and the potential for gains is broad. This is where we seek out these windows. Now, with the hypothesis of Bitcoin's corrective wave relative to this downward impulse, remember, WE and Y, we're in the structure. For those who know how to seek a Z, what I'm trying to say is that positive windows are opening up. So, what's the message? It's logical to be looking for buys in the crypto ecosystem. I think we're being very clear. Now, at what point should you abandon the search for longs? Because in response to the question of whether we should keep looking for longs indefinitely, even if the price keeps falling, the answer is obviously no. So, what needs to happen on the chart to make you say, I'm no longer going to look for buys. In fact, I'm going to start looking for sells. Perhaps this will be a revelation for some, but you can't get married to an operational idea. This isn't politics. It's not about being on the left or the right. That's not how it works. You can have an idea, a concept that prioritizes longs, but be careful. We're looking at a 1-hour chart here. We're not saying that in the next 4 hours the price has to go up. No, we're not trying to predict the future. As we explained earlier, the market can spend time, create traps, generate a creek, and this process could take days or weeks. Although, who knows, maybe it will reverse sharply. No one knows, so focus on the concept. What do we need to see on the chart to stop being positive? It's very simple. Pay attention to this. After the macro drop, we have an upward impulse, a channel here which is a range, and we're seeing a formation that we love, climactic action. After the climactic action, what's the prudent move? To look for a bearish harmonic. What is a bearish harmonic? It's about anticipating an impulse which we already have, and then perhaps looking for a replication. One more thing. What else do we see? We see that in relation to this upward impulse. After its correction, the replication seems to fall a bit short. It doesn't have the same proportion. This leads us to think that we can trust the break of the opposite trend line. Basically, if we're saying it makes sense to look for a replication here based on the concept of impulse, channel, range, and climactic action, and at the same time, if a harmonic fails, you're going to believe in the opposite breakout, the message is clear. If we also consider how we work with defense zones, this rectangle, a defense zone that has been broken, you can't allow it to break again. So, I'm giving you all the ingredients to understand that if in the future, no matter how the price moves, it breaks through that structure with force and doesn't recover, my friend. We're looking at a black swan event and a bearish market. I want you to understand this well. Does it make sense to look for longs over the next few hours, days, or weeks? Does it make sense to look for longs? Because the possibility of seeking a Z by analyzing and cross-referencing the analysis of all cryptocurrencies leads us to believe that we are facing a window of opportunity without trying to predict the future. Let's be clear about that. We're looking at a window of opportunity to seek longs. And after that, I've placed an asterisk to explain what you need to see on the chart to stop looking for those longs. If you've understood, let me know in the comments. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so YouTube notifies you of future uploads. And if you haven't understood, don't worry. Subscribe to the channel as well, because as you watch more of our videos, I guarantee that little by little, you'll start following along. I say this from experience, as we see the progression and evolution of all our members in the Crypto Insight Premium community. So hey, I believe in you, and remember that the application form for Crypto Insight Premium is once again open and available for you to join our private, free community. If you want to join and see all our live sessions where we look for daily futures trading opportunities for intraday trading, I'll tell you that spots are limited, and we'll soon close the application form. So, read the access requirements, fill out the form, send it in, and don't take too long. I'll leave the application form in the description and the pinned comment of this video. Good luck with your trading, and see you next time.